Hello, hello. Welcome to Empowered Women Live. I am Jerry Cates. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Have a seat for a little while. We're going to talk about something that you probably can relate to. Let me double check and make sure that I am live. How do you like my quotes lately? I've been coming up with a lot of quotes on my page and here in the group. So I'm going to put that to where I can actually see. All right. So, if you're watching this live, hashtag live, and if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. And I would love your feedback, right? So, here we go. Have you ever been in a meeting or a group or a family conversation and felt like no one heard you? We've all experienced that, right? You spoke, but you felt like your words didn't land. Have you felt that way? Think back to a time when you felt that way. We're going to sort this out. Maybe you stayed quiet because you didn't want to sound pushy. Or you felt like your thoughts wouldn't matter anyway. There's a reason for this. Stick around. This isn't just shyness, okay? We might label it as shyness. This isn't just shyness. It's something many women carry without even knowing it. It's the pattern that whispers, my voice doesn't carry weight. This is what Dr. Claire Zammit calls the leadership bias. It's the belief that speaking up or leading won't make a difference. So we stay quiet, hold back, and let others take the lead. Today we're going to talk about why this happens, how it's been passed down to us, and how to change it. Because your voice does matter, and it's time to start believing that. This is part 6 of a 7-part series called The Cultural Lies We Inherited and the Truths That Set Us Free. Each week we're almost done, this is 6. We covered one of the hidden patterns women carry, patterns that hold us back in work, relationships, and life. Then we learn how to shift it so that we can show up fully with confidence and power. I was trained in this framework by Dr. Claire Zammit and the Institute for Women-Centered Coaching, and it was formerly Feminine Power, and you'll hear me talk a lot about feminine power. This work is based on years of research into how women can step into real power, not by pushing harder, but by changing the patterns we inherited about who we're allowed to be. So this isn't just shyness, it's cultural conditioning. Many women feel like their voice doesn't matter because of what we've seen and learned growing up. We've been told directly or indirectly to, see if you're in here, be nice, not bossy. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. Let others speak first. And we've seen what happens to women who don't speak up. They get called, or who do speak up, right? The other ones are fading in the background, right? But the ones that do speak up, I mean to say, they get called aggressive, difficult, or emotional. See, so there's the conditioning on the other side. There's another reason why we don't speak up or haven't spoke up. We're changing that. But staying small doesn't protect us. It just keeps us invisible. Here's a reflection prompt. Can you think of a time when you had something to say, but you stayed quiet because you thought it wouldn't matter or because you didn't want to be judged? Oh, we can all raise our hand on that one. And that's what we're talking about. And that's coming from that conditioning and so much more, right? The conditioning that says, don't rock the boat, let others speak, be nice, not bossy. right? And it's like, don't be a leader. Don't share your mind. Don't share your ideas. That's what that's saying. So we need to recognize that it's a cultural conditioning. And so how do you change something like that? Well, first you recognize it, you acknowledge it, and then you start doing it differently, because we can't create something new with the same old ways of being, ways of thinking, ways of speaking to ourselves, right? So I want you to think back, as we're going to get into how to heal this, how to move this, shift this. Think of that time when you did have something to say, and you did stay quiet because you didn't think it mattered, or you were afraid you'd be judged. And then think about how you felt afterward. Now think about a time when you did speak up and how freeing that was. That's a muscle we want to switch, flip, shift. That's the muscle. All right. So the cost of staying quiet. When we hold back our voice, it costs us more than we think. We miss chances to share ideas or solutions that could make a difference. You have a contribution. It stifles that. It quiets that. We watch opportunities go to others because we didn't speak up. Have you ever experienced that? See, there's a cost. We start to believe the lie that our thoughts and leadership don't matter. And that's a dangerous one, because that makes you invisible. I felt this myself. There were times when I had something to share, an idea, a perspective, but I swallowed it because I thought, who am I to say this? Or I was worried about, would someone see me as too much? Every time it left me feeling smaller and more disconnected from myself. Can you relate to that? It left me feeling smaller and more disconnected from myself. It's the opposite of what we want. Over time, this becomes an identity. And I work a lot with identities, with shifting identities. But here's the identity that it becomes. My voice doesn't matter. It's safer to stay in the background. There's a cost. There's a cost. And it's not the truth. It's not safer to stay in the background. It's just what we've been taught. And we can learn something else. We can condition ourselves for something more positive, right? More leadership and more self-expression. So here's an identity practice. Think of a recent time you held back your words and ask yourself, what was I afraid of might happen if I spoke up? You can write these questions down. They're really good questions. When you think of that time when you didn't speak up, what were you afraid of that was going to happen? What were you afraid was going to happen? Yeah. Who taught me to believe my voice didn't carry weight? So who was the one that said, oh, don't rock the boat, or let others speak first, right? Who taught me that? Who said that, right? And then what would my future self, the one who leads and is heard, say to me now? So there's that part of yourself, your wise adult self, your future self. And she's living the life you want to live, right? And whether that's making an impact on people, on your family, whatever it is you do, that future self, connect with her. And what would she have to say to you about speaking up, about being expressive and sharing your ideas? What would she have to say to you? I think that's just such a beautiful question. What would she say to me now? The shift. Your voice matters. The truth is, your voice has weight. Your voice has weight. But the first person who has to believe this is you. Speaking up doesn't have to mean loud or forceful. Real leadership can be calm, steady, and rooted. It can sound like asking for what you need. Asking for what you need. Having that clarity about what it is you need. Sharing your perspective even if others don't agree. We've got to create safe places where others can have an opinion, and we can respect that they have an opinion. We may not agree. We don't have to be convinced they're right. We just might have a different perspective. Allowing yourself to have that perspective, so that you're not following what others say. You know what I'm talking about. Just accepting what they're saying. You have your own mind, your own experience, your own wisdom, your own intuition. Trust yourself. Trust yourself and create safe places where you can speak up, right? Practice in the easier places rather than just keeping shut down all the time. So like I said, you don't need to be loud. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to believe in your words. You just need to believe in yourself. Here's a power statement. Actually, water first. My voice has value. I like that one. My voice has value. You can close your eyes if you're somewhere safe to do so. Maybe put your hand on your heart center. Here comes some more. My ideas matter. My ideas matter. Just really taking that in, having that experience. I don't wait for permission to speak or lead. I don't wait for permission to speak or lead. That's a wow, right? I don't wait for permission to speak or lead. Just stepping in that vibration. There's no room for being invisible. You feel that? There's no room for it. Oops, sorry guys. I trust myself to be heard. I trust myself to be heard. I want to say a little something about the power of your words. I've been studying a lot of Florence Scovel Shinn lately, and her books were written like in the 1920s and 30s. And she talks about your word is your wand. You create with your words. And you when we speak to ourselves, we're creating. So what are you creating? If you're worried about money, the shift is into abundance. And because that's an old thinking, it's an old cycle, and it keeps the abundance from coming if we're stuck in this place and we're constantly saying negative things about our finances or about abundance or about our deserving. So stepping into this other place and really feeling it. I've been doing a lot of tapping. I write tapping scripts, and what it does is it helps get those things we say so that we can release those emotions. Really powerful stuff. But it's about nurturing the garden, growing something new, noticing when we're in old thought patterns, noticing when our body is in old thought patterns, in that electricity, that hypervigilance, that panic inside. That's not abundance, and that will create more panic, more anxiety, more lack, more limitation. So coming back to our talk, I trust myself to be heard. And then I got on to the power of your words. The other thing I want to say about that is Don Miguel Ruiz's book, the 4 agreements. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And he talks about not speaking ill of others or of yourself. But I think he hits home the power of the word. And then going back to Florence Scovel Shinn, her book, Your Word is Your Wand. It is. You're creating with it. And so going back to what we're saying about your voice matters, I think having the understanding of how powerful our words are, how powerful they are. Think of them as a wand or as a way of creating. And then step back and look at your thought process. If it's always in a negative loop, the words are going to be negative. And the abundance isn't going to, if abundance hit you in the face, you wouldn't notice it because we would be too busy being in that negative place. So we got to build a new muscle. We got to build a new muscle. If you've been playing small and not speaking up, not sharing your ideas, I mentioned earlier to tap into what does it feel like after you wanted to speak up and you didn't. You know that feeling? You know, you're in a situation and you really wanted to speak up, but it just wasn't in you for whatever reason. Could have been that old story of others speak first, or my thoughts don't matter, whatever was going on. There's an anguish that comes after that. Put a yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. I wish I had said that, or I wish I could have spoke up. Now let's fast forward it to the other side when you did speak up. How do you think you feel after that? How do you think you feel that you shared your ideas? Right? That's the shift. That's the shift, and it's a new muscle to build. And, you know, we have affirmations, and I use a lot of tapping. It really has been a godsend for me to help shift that energy inside, to be in that abundance. That way I get to choose where my energy is, and I get to choose what I'm sharing. Yeah, your words matter. Your words matter. So, if you're tired of holding back your voice, whether it's at work or at home or anywhere you're called to lead, this is your moment to change that. So I like to do 5 clarity calls, offer 5 clarity calls a week. And this is for you if you're ready to step into your confidence and presence. So we'll really take a look at what's going on there. What are the old stories you're telling yourself that are keeping you small? You know, is it these cultural biases? I want to go back to them because I see people have joined. Hey, Rose and Dora. I know you've been here a little bit, Rose. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I got a little tapping for you. Be nice, not bossy. These are the cultural biases. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. So you're going to have to go back and listen to the beginning because this was good. Let others speak first. And so what we do is we embody those things, and then when we have that opportunity in our life, we don't see it as an opportunity. We're scared to death to speak up. Our heart's pounding, and we don't speak up. But then there's the times when you have a command of your words and you understand the power of your words and the value of your words, and you speak up and you feel good about it. That's the shift. That's the shift. Imagine how your world would open up if you were able to voice, to be presenced. Yeah, instead of shutting down and being invisible. All right, so I have something else going on this week I want to share with you, but let me make sure that I shared all of this with you. Okay. Let me make sure I just covered this. So the shift, because this is really important. Asking for what you need. So being able to identify what do you need. So that's a question you can ask yourself. It's a coaching question. We do it in Feminine Power. I use my first name, Jerry. What do you need? I might close my eyes and just say, Jerry, what do you need? I need safety. I can see that you need safety. So you're mirroring it back to yourself. And I know it sounds like a crazy thing, but when my husband passed away, this is what I did, and it helped me through it. It helped me move through that with courage and grace because I had tools like these. And then, what do you need? What are you feeling? I don't want to forget that part. What are you feeling, Jerry? What are you feeling? I'm feeling afraid. I can see that you're feeling afraid. So the idea is you're mirroring it back to yourself and you're practicing holding space. This is really good feminine power technique. You're holding space for yourself. And you can do this with other people, but to learn to do it for yourself and then teach others is so powerful. Like I said, it helped me through a really hard time. So naming your feelings and your needs is so important. And if you want work with that, that's my specialty. That is my specialty. So, asking for what you need, sharing your perspective, even if others don't agree. So, feeling grounded enough in yourself to share your perspective, right? We're not doing it out of an emotional thing, flying off the handle. We're just calmly taking a look at it and sharing it. And then offering ideas without apologizing for it. Oh, there it is. So have you ever done that? Put a yes in the chat. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to. We know we've all done it. You know, I have a family member that calls me and she always, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry to bother you. And man, I would just love to have a conversation with her, right? But she's apologizing for it because her request or whatever she wants to share with me, it's not enough. You know, she hasn't learned to use her voice. And I'm encouraging her. I help her. But have you done that? I'm sorry to bother you, or apologizing before you share your view. Notice if you do that. Stop it. Knock it off. Stop apologizing. Just be connected with yourself and speak your truth. Speak your truth. Yeah, knock that off. So when you stop waiting for others for permission to speak, you start to give yourself permission to speak. And if you take anything from this, that's what I want you to do, is give yourself permission to speak. Step into alignment with yourself. Come from that grounded place. But speak up. Speak up. Understand it's those cultural things that we've learned, you know, and they're not even true. They're not true. So here's an embodiment cue. Sit tall, put your feet flat on the floor, take a deep breath, and say this out loud. My voice carries weight. And now take another breath. What I say matters. What I say matters. And take another breath. And then releasing it. I don't need to shout to be heard. I need to believe in my words. I don't need to shout to be heard. I need to believe in my words. That's a shift, isn't it? You feel that? Yes. Here's a power statement. My voice has value. My ideas matter. I don't wait for permission to speak or lead. I trust myself to be heard. Hey, you want to do a quick little tapping? It's not the whole thing, but you do feel a little shift and it gives you a taste of it. So this is karate chop right here on the side of the hand. And then there's, do I have top of the head? I think it goes eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, and then like just below your collarbone in that kind of meaty area. And then under the arm. And that's all I do is under the arm. And I know it sounds crazy, but just come with me. Try it. I'll try to go really slow. I'm only going to do like 2 rounds anyway. The first round is karate chop. So you won't be able to see me chopping, but I'm going to be going like that because I need to see the thing. All right. Yeah, I got to get it to where I can see it. Even though I've felt my voice doesn't matter. Even though I've stayed quiet to feel safe. Are you doing it with me? Karate chop. I deeply love and accept myself, and I choose to believe in my words now. Let's do it again. Even though I have felt like my voice doesn't matter. I'll say it with you. Even though I felt like my voice doesn't matter. Even though I stayed quiet to feel safe. Keep chopping. Even though I felt quiet, I stayed quiet to feel safe. I deeply love and accept myself. I deeply love and accept myself. And I choose to believe in my words now. And I choose to believe in my words now. Eyebrow point. I've been holding my voice back. I've been holding my voice back. I'm saying it twice so you can say it. Side of the eye. I thought my words didn't matter. I thought my words didn't matter. Under the eye. I stayed quiet to keep the peace. I stayed quiet to keep the peace. Under the nose. But that left me feeling invisible. But that left me feeling invisible. Under the chin. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. Collarbone. I'm learning to trust my voice. I'm learning to trust my voice. Under the arm. My words carry weight. My words carry weight. Top of the head. And I speak. And I can speak and still be safe. Oh, I love that one. And I can speak and still be safe. I'm going to say it one more time. And I can speak but still be safe. Yeah. And just relax. And I like to go hand to heart. Heart center. My voice matters. I am safe to speak and lead. I trust myself to be heard. So I would love to know, that's like the mini tapping. But I want to know, did you feel a little energy shift in there? Just a little one? So the tappings usually are 4 rounds. 3 rounds of the actual tapping and 1 on the hand. Powerful stuff, especially when you get the words that resonate. So, okay, I told you I was going to tell you about this week. So I'm doing this. I love AI. I love AI. I love talking to it. I love getting feedback. I love doing tarot cards with it. I might pull the card and have it give me a reading, or I might use it for my business to align with my messaging, and actually align with what I'm here to do. So I'm doing this class with AI and human design on Friday, this Friday at 11 to 12, just 1 hour. And it's on Zoom. So the idea is we go back and I'm going to teach you how to go get your chart for your human design, and then take it and put it in ChatGPT, and I have a template that if you're in a business, it'll help you really align with your message and your purpose, and it'll help you really align with your ideal client, and it'll help you really align with your mission, your messaging. So that's going to be a fun class. And if you want to come to that class, let's see, AI, put AI in the chat and I'll get you the Zoom link. You register on Zoom. 1 hour. I'm launching an AI class twice a month out of this, so I'm really looking forward to sharing this stuff with you. I spent last weekend, I was 2 8-hour days in an AI training, and actually he went longer, but he was so good. It was so good. I had been wanting to do this class for a while, and I did this process with one of my clients, and she loved it. She just kept saying, wow, wow, wow. So if you want to get wowed, come over to my class on Friday. August 1st. Okay? Just put AI in the chat and I'll send you the link. Okay, so clarity calls and type clarity in the chat. And AI class, type AI. We got things happening this week. Let's have some fun. All right. Thanks to Rose and Dora Ann for sticking around. All right. Oh, next week is week 7. And the final week is the final lie will release together. Yep, the final lie will release together. You have to come back. Okay. Bye-bye.